Welcome to Sunset Circuit. Jacksonville Beach, where athletes of all ages come to test their speed, their strength, and their will. Who is the fastest runner in Bitcoin?
Okay, and we're on. Today we have very special guest, David Hudman. David, thanks for coming.
Of course.
You're the reigning champion of the Sunset Circuit Bitcoin race with a personal best of 106, and you've won every race you've come to. How does it feel?
Well, I had to take time off from my busy racing schedule to make it here today, but I'm really excited to be on. So.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. You're an inspiration, and without you being at these races, it wouldn't feel quite the same as an event. You really step up the level.
Well, I am excited about the next one because I just ran a mile race with some people that I train with, and I got 11th. So
oh wow, they must be really fast.
Yeah, and the leaders were like way ahead. The leaders ran like 40 seconds faster than me in a mile. But I ran 5:01, so I'm like, okay, if I ran 5:01 for a mile, that's like 1:15s for 400, 4 in a row.
Yeah.
It's like I should be able to do faster than 1:06. It's on the sand though, to get that turnaround, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I think the sand makes a big difference.
Yeah, I'm just GPSing it with my watch when I measure it, so I should probably use an official wheel measure because I have one.
Oh yeah.
So we can make it very serious.
Very official.
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you think you'll do in the new plank and push-up contest?
Ooh, I'm not sure about that, but I was telling you I did a lot of yoga recently while I was in Mexico, and maybe I'm stronger than I was in the past. I'm definitely more flexible. I'm not sure about strength, but I feel like I'm pretty strong. Good for planks at least.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Cam won the last plank.
Okay.
So that's the bar.
Okay.
It was, I think, 1:42.
1:42? Well, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah. I don't know. He might have lifted, his technique. I was trying to look at him, but I was doing it too. So I hope he wasn't lifting his butt way up, which would normally be a disqualifier. But we'll see.
Yeah, and the prize is generally, it's not like gender specific. So, and since I won 5, I think for the next race I need to be racing on behalf of the top female. So it's like, hey, if another guy wins, then he gets it. But if I can win, overall, then the top female should get it. I think. I think that'd be a fair policy.
I was thinking about that too because it hasn't been very fair for the females. So this time we're actually sponsored by Cold Card now. So they gave the wallets. The previous ones Vake had given and Ballet had sponsored a couple before too. But now Cold Card gave us 3 wallets to use. So the top male will get the wallet and $100, and the top female will get the wallet plus a dress that they can make to order. Wow. Not quite $100, but it's something. But if you want to do that as well.
Okay, yeah. Because I don't want any guys showing up and actually beating me, so I just want to retain the ego of being the overall winner, but okay with giving up the prize.
Yeah. Nice. And how long have you been running? What's your history with the sport?
I first started training with a team when I was in the 7th grade. So I guess, what does that make? I guess I would have been 12 at the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm 34 now, so...
So you never took any breaks in between?
I definitely did. But I pretty much trained consistently. After 7th grade, I tried all sports. I ran cross country, then I played basketball right after that, then I played baseball. And I'd run pretty well in cross country, and I did pretty terribly in basketball. I think I scored 2 points the whole season. And baseball probably batted not a good batting average, 87 or something, if you know batting averages. It's 300 is a good batting average. Okay. 87 is it's because 300 is 30%. They say instead of 30, you say 300.
Okay.
But so 87 would be 8% hit rate. It was really bad. So I was maybe I should focus on running. And, I thought there was potential to run at the collegiate level. And I ended up running for a small college. It was not a top tier school or anything. I was definitely not at that level, but I was able to run at Troy University in Alabama. That was, we were kind of at the bottom of D1, to be honest. We were kind of in the worst conference, and we were the worst team in the conference. Oh. I had a good time running those races. And my 5K PR from college is actually at the UNF track in Jacksonville. That was my first time ever in Jacksonville.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What was your time?
I ran 16:39.
Holy, that's fast.
I'm still trying to beat that time. I ran 16:55 January of last year, so I was like pretty close to beating it.
Wow, yeah.
And it was
right
slower
there.
than my high school times too. Like 16:39 was actually worse than my high school times. And my high school times weren't even on a track. They were actually like in cross country where you run like on the trails and stuff. So I beat 16:30 like many times when I was in high school. So yeah, kind of had a little bit of a disappointing college career, and it like motivated me to keep running. I think if you have like some failed ambitions, you'll be like motivated to train into your 30s and 40s when everybody else stops training, and you see like how out of shape everybody gets. You'll still be training because you'll still believe that you can beat your PRs, you know, your personal records, your best times.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. I recently got back into rowing. You can see the rowing machine over there.
Oh, yeah.
My arch nemesis. But in college, it was like especially in Canada, because you can only row a few months of the year. So the erg is a main thing that people put a lot of weight in your erg score. And I was pretty good at the erg. Like, I think we used to go to these Canadian champions, and I came second in 2003, and I think I was third in 2002.
Wow.
But my score was, for lightweight women. But now I'm so far off from it when I try. It's so disappointing. And I'm like, how, am I ever going to be as good as that again? But I haven't tried to do a full out test, but I can just see like my splits are, it's pretty bad.
But I mean, it's like, you really do have to like race your current self rather than your past self. You know, when you hold yourself that stance, like, I did this. It's like, hey, just focus on where you are now.
Yeah.
Because I was definitely thinking about like in high school. I had a coach that would bring her 2-year-old son to practice every morning, and so his mom was our coach, a great distance runner in college, and his dad owned like the local running store. He's also a great runner in college, ran the Olympic trials, and everybody was like, this kid is going to be great. And I was kind of like, I don't know. Well, he has a contract with Nike now to run professionally. And his name's Ethan Strand. If you look him up, he got second at USA Championships and qualified for like the World Championships to like represent the United States. And anyway, he beat like the reigning Olympic champion.
Oh wow!
At the U.S. trials. Now the guy got it back at World Championships, so it was kind of like a qualifying round. So I mean, but still, he ran like an incredible time, and his best mile was like 3:48. It's like, man, I didn't break 5 this past time. Like, how? I feel like I train all the time. Like, how can someone be that much better? And it's like, I don't know, like. It can be a little bit discouraging when you start to like look at just these like super high levels and how good people are able to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is amazing. Like, I was at a rowing regatta this weekend, and this young girl there, like I'm 43 now. God, I'm so old. I don't know when it happened. But this 25-year-old, yeah. She beat me by a good 70 meters or so. And I was going into it, I had looked up her like stats online and stuff, and I was thinking, maybe, my technique's pretty good still. Like, maybe I'll just, it's only 1,000 meters, but no, right off the start, she was just gone. And it was like, you wonder, like, how does someone else, is it all in the head, or is it, like, obviously a lot is your training, but what do you attribute to like mental, like being able to endure pain, or is it your stamina that you build up over years?
Yeah, the stamina you build up over years is definitely important. I mean, if you're living like an active lifestyle and, versus people that, are working desk jobs, they're like, they want to focus on their career and make money and buy a house. And instead, I'm just like, I want to train all the time. And so I don't ever want to get out of shape to make money. I want to just like be poor, but focused on running. I think having like a long period of just like staying active and eating well and stuff like that is definitely going to help too. And just, trying to, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's the same with anything. Like you learn another language and you're really good at it, and then you don't use it for years and you forget it. So, but it can come back, you can train again, you can get in good shape again. I've seen people do that too. Like even after a long period off, or like, years of just like, I'm kind of like not running that great, or, like I'm not performing that well. And then all of a sudden they they figure something out, and it just like comes on strong. And that's what like really makes you want to go all in on it when you shouldn't. It becomes an obsession. Like, you know, like guys with golf are like really obsessed with like their handicap and stuff. Running is like the same way. And it sounds like rowing is too. Like anything really. I mean, weightlifting or like whatever it is you're doing. So it's a little bit of a vanity thing, but hey, at least like I definitely go for runs sometimes. I'm like, man, I really am thankful to be able to just go and explore the world this way, because not everybody has the opportunity to do that. And when I was in Mexico, I definitely, did that. I was like, hey, I'm planning a 5 or 6 mile run a day. I'm just gonna and I was out at this island for like 2 days, and I was like, I'm just gonna run the whole island, just like run up and down.
Wow.
And so like that was a great way to see it. I didn't have to like rent, a car or rent, I mean, it was like mostly dirt, so you would have to rent like some kind of moped or, maybe like a 4-wheeler or something. But I was like, I can just run this whole island. And anyway, that like became a really cool way to like see things.
Were you nervous about the cartels at all?
That had been going on. That was more like in southern Mexico, down near Puerto. I think that was Puerto Vallarta, which is like, I mean. Yeah, that's like pretty far from where I was. I was in the Yucatan. That's on the Pacific side. The cartels weren't like, that hadn't really been a huge issue in the area that I was in. I mean, like people definitely ask about that, but I think I looked up the numbers, and in February, I think around 900,000 Americans, just Americans, went to just Cancun.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like, how many like issues did you hear about? It's like probably not that many. So I mean, I think it's relatively safe. I'm not sure like, hey, some people may get into trouble there. I like talk to people who are staying out till 5 a.m. every morning. I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea, but they actually were fine. So I try to like go to bed early, like be in before dark, that kind of stuff if possible. Not or at least not be walking too far at night through like shady areas and stuff. So
I guess that's anywhere.
Yeah. Even here, like West Jacksonville. I mean, like where I did this race was in Murray Hill, and it's like if you like go over a few streets, you don't necessarily like know what kind of neighborhood you're in. Like I'm not that familiar with that area of Jacksonville, so yeah. I mean, I kind of think it's like anywhere, but yeah, when you don't speak the language, I guess sometimes people might be trying to tell you something, you might like miss the signal. So that's a different thing.
My last time in Mexico, I had an early morning flight, and I was about an hour from the airport. I had a rental car, so I left probably 3 in the morning or something to drive to the airport, and my rental car had no headlights unless I like held them on, they wouldn't stay on. So I drove most of the way holding them on, but I guess I don't know what I did. They might have flashed, but I got pulled over maybe 10 minutes from the airport, and these cops, I pull over to the side of the car, they're like, get out and come with us. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm getting kidnapped. That's all I thought was happening. And so I get in their police car, and they drive me to an ATM, and they're like, your headlights weren't working, it's a $200 fine. No paperwork or anything. I just get the $200 cash, give it to them. They take me back to my car. I still made my flight, but I was like, man, I never went back again since. I don't know if I will either, because it's what a shakedown.
Yeah, there definitely are some of those stories. I mean, I hear about a lot. I've heard people that just kind of tell the police, I'm not paying that. I mean, I'm kind of surprised. I'm especially when they've been asked for relatively small amounts of money. And I mean, theirs was there's no time constraint. You've got a flight time constraint. They can kind of hold you up a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to get back to. I didn't want to. I didn't know. I mean, I was so relieved actually.
Yeah, I mean,
just cash. Yeah.
I've even heard girls that are from Mexico. I'm coming from the guy's perspective. It's I feel pretty safe going around and just doing whatever. Mm-hmm. And I talked to other guys who are the police tried to extort me. I just told them no, and I'm not going to pay you. And they just eventually left, or they tried to counter offer. They're like, oh, well, you're not going to give us the $20 we asked for. Well, take us to the gas station and buy us some snacks. That was their counter offer. I was like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. And I mean, I was like, I would have just paid the $20. It's not, anyway. I never got into those situations. I was walking back to my hostel that I was staying in. My hostel was $17 a night. Oh, wow. But it was pretty nice. It was a Mayan Monkey down in Tulum. It's a pretty nice place actually. And it goes up, a bit higher in the high season. For having 10 roommates, high being $50. It's I know that doesn't sound high, but it's you have 9 roommates. You're one of 10. So it's it's kind of a lot for a hostel. When you hear about like, I mean, I'm hearing about places now because they have like a huge seaweed issue going on. It's, we have some seaweed here, but they also have seaweed, but it's like knee high. And as it decomposes, it's like getting really bad, like smelling and stuff, and making the beaches like in some areas kind of unusable. In other areas, they are. Like I went to the beach in Cancun, and I went to the beach a little bit in Tulum, but Tulum kind of smells pretty bad. You can be around the beaches, but some areas smell extremely bad. But Playa del Carmen is totally like not a place you want to go right now. It might be good in a few months, but anyway, some of the hostels in Playa del Carmen. And there's other things to do there besides just go to the beach. So like you can take a ferry out to Cozumel, and like Cozumel's pretty nice. But I heard about some hostels in Playa del Carmen that included breakfast. They were $8 a night.
Wow.
It's like
what a way to travel.
Yeah, no. It's like, man, you go down there with some friends, you can just live on almost nothing for a while, probably like share the room together so you don't have like outsiders in there and stuff. But, I kind of think that's the way to go. I'm interested in exploring that a little bit over the coming months.
Yeah. When I was in university in Ontario, we organized a training camp in Miami and stayed in hostels like that.
Okay.
I think it was called the Clay Hostel, but it was so exciting for us. Yeah, it was the same thing. We had like 10 girls and 10 guys in like 2 separate rooms and just rode every day.
Wait, so was this a hostel in Miami?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only stayed in one hostel in the U.S. and it was in Miami also.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of dirty. The ones in Mexico were way better taken care of, I thought. But that was just one place I stayed. I'm not sure what your experience was.
Well, for us, it was just the weather, the beach, the rowing with dolphins.
Gotcha.
We didn't care,
Gotcha,
and we couldn't have afforded it if it was like a super expensive.
Yeah, right. It definitely makes things a lot more affordable. But the people you meet, or at least that I've met down there, like they are trying to save money, but some of them, seem to have like, either good jobs or like probably like as best you can tell, like they probably come from a good family, like they've gone to university, they've like done these things. Maybe they're taking a break before they start their job. Maybe they themselves like haven't made a lot of money yet, but like, they've got a good degree. They're like on a good path. It sounds like you're meeting people that speak multiple languages a lot of times. And most people that I met were from Europe actually. But you would meet some people who were staying in a hostel who were actually from Mexico. That was not the norm, but if you did, you might get a chance to practice some Spanish. Like in a little bit as you made the excursions.
Yeah.
I was going to mention to you also. So I think I told you earlier they had like a yoga session on the roof of the hostel I stayed in Cancun, which I really liked. The Cancun hostel was called, they have a Mayan monkey also that's in Cancun in the hotel zone, but there was one that I stayed in that was downtown Cancun where you've got like good access to the bus station and everything. That one was called Nomad's Hostel, and I've stayed there like 3 times, but this time they brought in a yoga instructor, and she got there the same day I did. She was from Brazil.
Oh, nice. And
they had yoga on the roof every morning, and she was like going around the common areas, like asking people, it's like, hey, you're coming to the yoga session, right? Because it was like 8:30 every morning or, something like that. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, yeah, like we're going. And, it's free. So, and she was like a good instructor too. She'd like really push you. So it became like a really good thing for me where I worked on flexibility and just like strength and stuff. But from there, it was like, you were around other people and you start talking to them. It's like, hey, like, you want to come down to the kitchen and we're going to like make breakfast, or, I'm going to make some coffee. And, so we get down there, we start talking, hey, what are you doing today? Like, what are your plans while you're here? How long have you been here? And we're like, oh, we're looking to go to like this island today. And, we're looking to like make this trip out to the beach, or, we're looking to go to this spring nearby. And you start making all these plans. And then like, you've got like some momentum build up where like people around the hostel start to know that, like you're involved in doing things, and you've made some friends. And then those people you might see in another city as you travel around, because like people pick the same hostels. They like kind of use the same resources, and like the best hostels always like bubble to the top of the algorithm. And so you're kind of like probably going to see those people again, or at least a certain percentage. If you see enough people who stay there for long enough, you're going to see some of those people again. But we went out to Isla Mujeres, or I went there on 2 occasions. I went there once with like a big group of Germans. This was just like in the month that I was there. I went there twice. And you can basically just take a ferry out from Cancun. Like it was near our hostel, and it probably only takes, it's probably just like a 15 or 20 minute ride. But there's that area where I think her name is Isabella or Isa. And
she has that Bitcoin Island. Did you check it out?
Yeah. I went to a couple of the taco trucks that she, or the taco stands that she had onboarded.
That's awesome.
I was trying to go to like more places, but I was like kind of with a group, so I couldn't do it all. I showed them, like, hey, I paid in Bitcoin. Did you see this? I mean,
Yeah, so you can pay in Bitcoin.
It works. Nice. It works. I paid over Lightning. I used the Mon wallet, MUUN. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works really well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kudos to her.
Yeah, I like her. I haven't met her in person, but I always like her videos and stuff.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
But yeah, I'm looking to, and I think we've talked about, like, I made trips to like other Bitcoin places like that where I've like specifically targeted, like, okay, I'm like trying to go here like for this reason. I wanted to go to El Salvador in January. I didn't make it, but I did last July, August, make it to Bitcoin Jungle down in Costa Rica.
Oh, what was that like?
That was really cool. I thought they did a great job down there. I mean, like, they've got a team with people who are like developers. They've got like some people who are like kind of on the influencer side, like developing content and stuff, and like promoting it. And but it's kind of centered around, or it seems to be, like, as best I can tell, they may describe it and say this isn't the right understanding, but just like from my outsider perspective, they centered it around like, well, this farmer's market for one thing, where it happens twice a week and there's a lot of people selling different stuff, and they wanted to make sure like as many people as possible there sell it, so you can buy like all your essentials. It's basically a grocery store. Like the big grocery store doesn't accept it, but like, hey, at least there, if you wanted to use Bitcoin and only live on Bitcoin, you can get what you need. Like I was buying eggs and avocado, and I don't think I bought any steak, but I probably could have. It looked like somebody accepted it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like more fruits and vegetables and stuff. And there's little like coffee shops that I went to that accepted it. And there were some hotels. I ended up staying in a different hostel that didn't accept it. But the big thing that they told me that they provided was that, there's this thing in Costa Rica where you can just send money to a phone number. So they gave people like an easy way to get access to fiat if they needed it, which is important if you like run your business and you need to pay for things. It's like, hey, Bitcoin's great. I'm like bullish or whatever, but like my profit margins are like kind of thin. And so I can't hold like a lot of Bitcoin. I've got to like be able to convert that back to cash. And it's like, they have a good way to do that, which sounds like it's pretty like low cost and like low fees. And they've sort of like facilitated that so people, could get education on how to do that, like explain to people how to use it. They have an office there that they can go to. So yeah, I thought that all worked really well. And it sounds like they're trying to like, be competitive. And I mean, it sounds like they might be better even than some of the best places in El Salvador.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like mainly on like how dense it is in a certain area. Like in El Salvador, yeah, you may have more people like nationwide or something, but not like all in an area like that where like everybody knows about it. So yeah, it's like
and
pretty
transacting
cool.
in it.
Yeah, and I had a good time there too. I thought it was a great place. Like,
I
I'd
love
love to.
Costa Rica.
Yeah, I'd love to go back there again just to enjoy it.
Yeah. Jeff and I got married there.
Oh, really?
And a lot of Bitcoiners came to the wedding. Well, not a lot, but a handful. And
wow.
Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, they didn't accept Bitcoin at the hotel we went to.
Yeah. But there were some places around that did. If you guys had specifically targeted that for your wedding, I mean, I imagine that wasn't the target of the wedding, right? It was like Costa Rica for other reasons, right?
Cliff that was, oh my God, it was just incredible. Like it was this. They had this venue where it was like a seating stage. It kind of looked like ancient Greece or something. It had all these pillars, and the background was just the ocean and the sunset.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to go back.
That's pretty awesome.
And we had this honeymoon suite that had its own like infinity pool and everything, and it wasn't crazy expensive. Like here, it would be.
Yeah.
You couldn't even find anything like it. But.
Yeah, I mean, like for some of those higher end places, like I've heard, like, I mean, you can get some really incredible places for like. I mean, it's not like what I was talking about where you're paying $17 a night. It's not that cheap, but like compared to what you would pay here for something like that, like it's way cheaper.
Yeah. And the food and everything is like much more reasonable.
Yeah, you get like fresh fruit and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I want to go back. You're making me really want to travel.
I mean, like, I didn't think it was such an absurd price, although I just come from Ecuador where like things are really cheap in Ecuador. So like when you come to Costa Rica, from Ecuador, you're kind of like, yeah, this is sort of more like the U.S. Like, or I mean, I'm not sure when you were there in
It
country.
would have been 2019.
Okay, so I was there last year in 2025, and it was like prices have definitely gone up.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if you're just buying your groceries and stuff, you know, I'm sure some things are more expensive. Like we have really inexpensive beef in the United States, but like if you're in these places, you might pay more for those things, but you might pay less for some other things, or maybe about the same. You know, you're getting like your eggs and your fruit and stuff. It's like most of that is probably going to be about the same, maybe a little bit cheaper. And yeah, so if you're just using that to buy your groceries and you're just like cooking it wherever you're staying, you're like, I mean, you're not going to notice that big of a difference in the cost of living. If you're going to eat a little bit more, like you're going to notice the difference if you've been to like a really cheap country like Ecuador or Colombia. Yeah. And I'm not sure where else. I know some people have been to like Asia and stuff. I've never been over there. I've heard it's really cheap. Love to go.
Yeah. I went to Taiwan a couple times.
Oh, wow.
Again, I keep talking about rowing today, but
Wow.
I went to a rowing competition there. They like sponsored a women's quad and a men's 8 from all the big universities in each country. And yeah, they just paid for everyone to go have this race. It was awesome. And we'd had to like go attend these political things where they talked about wanting their freedom from China, and their
really?
thought behind it was that rowing's kind of a sport where the people might eventually become world leaders or something like that, and
really
be,
interesting.
you know, make favorable decisions to Taiwan.
Yeah, it is kind of a thing where you're going to see, like, maybe, I mean, this, like, I don't know how else to put this other than you might be seeing, like, the upper echelon of society. It's like, you know, if you're going to, like, a country club golf, you know, event or something, it's like you might be, like, getting people who are going to be in top, higher level positions more so than other activities. That's
None of the
cool.
girls in my crew have freed Taiwan, but I'm sure we all speak nicely about the place.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. As soon as the government changed, they stopped the competition. So it only lasted. I think it lasted like 4 years, and I went 3 of those 4 years.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, sorry, and you may have told me this before. So you're from Canada originally. Mm-hmm. Where in Canada?
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. So when did you leave there?
2014.
Okay, so not even that long ago. Wow.
Yeah.
In the Bitcoin area.
Yeah. I had joined a couple of Bitcoin meetups in 2013 there, but I never went to them. I was just like online with them. I wish I had gone and really got into it, but it wasn't until
that was a good time to get in.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. Then when I moved here, I couldn't really work on my student visa. So I thought, well, it's kind of like I'm allowed to volunteer. I'm allowed to volunteer for gifts or what, you know, what is Bitcoin. I quickly learned,
That's okay.
that it wasn't, you know, I tried to make it above board with my school. Like I was allowed to do work study things. And so I showed them, I found this company. They're willing to hire me for Bitcoin ATM company doing compliance.
Oh, wow.
And the school said no. So I ended up having to work in the cafeteria there instead of at the place just to preserve the visa. But
What Bitcoin ATM company was that?
back then they were called Coin Outlet.
Okay.
Today it's kind of evolved into Hippo.
Okay.
They're big in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But the guy that did it, he manufactured all the ATMs. Like he got them from China, and then he puts the software into it, and he sold them to, you know, there's several other companies purchased the ATMs from him over time. And
Wow.
yeah, I'm still in touch with him now. I'm still his compliance officer actually today. I took a break from doing it, but now, you know, today I am.
Yeah, I talked to one of the guys who had a ownership stake in a Bitcoin ATM company where they had I think one Bitcoin ATM in El Salvador, and it was before Bukele announced his plan to become a Bitcoin country, and so they ended up getting this contract to provide all these ATMs.
That's awesome.
It was a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get into Bitcoin originally?
How did I? I mean, I was aware of it as I was in college, 2010 to 2014. So in 2012, I was just starting to get into some of the computer science core of my business major in information systems. And I did an internship with Glenn Beck.
Oh, wow.
And we were basically making this like research document. Because at that point I was still like very much into like constitutional conservative kind of frame of mind. And watched Glenn Beck on Fox News, and I guess when he like developed his new show on his network, I can't remember. I think he was just developed. He had just started his new like online network that like preceded the Blaze, or maybe he changed the name. I can't remember when he changed the name. Anyway, but I was coming from that constitutional conservative background. But they were having us put together this research document, and they were like, "Hey, you need to read, Fox News and Business Insider." But they also said you should read Zero Hedge, and they also said you should read this other site called Daily Paul. I'm not sure if anybody remembers that, but it was like a Ron Paul forum, way back in the day. And I mean, back in 2012, I was on this thing all the time, and people were constantly talking about Bitcoin. And by then, I had a good enough understanding of they were basically the ones that brainwashed me by getting me to read that stuff, because then I was like, well, wait, who's this? What does this Ron Paul guy have to say? And I was like, wait, this guy's more into the Constitution than any of these other guys they're talking about, Mitt Romney and like Rick Santorum. They're like, these guys are great. And then it's like, wait, why not Ron Paul? He's like the only guy that's like believing in all the stuff you say you believe. It's like, hey, you say you believe in gun rights, you believe in the Constitution, you want to end the Federal Reserve and all this stuff, and it's like, why aren't they into Ron Paul? And it's like, well, he's bad on foreign policy, and like that answer was just like not acceptable to me. So I just kind of deviated from them eventually, but I kept reading that stuff, and I was kind of like, they're all like, Bitcoin is what's going to end the Federal Reserve. I'm like, that's interesting, but I kind of bought Peter Schiff's arguments more than anything else. And mine. Sorry.
Can you move the car? Okay.
Sorry about that. Let me know if my car doesn't start, because the battery was having a little bit of issues. Sorry. Yeah, I blocked some people in when I parked. Meant to ask you about that. Sorry. Okay, so that was like my first exposure to Bitcoin, and I was also really interested in this project that was going on at the time. I wasn't so aware of WikiLeaks. Like maybe I'd heard of it a little bit. I know they accepted Bitcoin very early on, but it was really this other project that Cody Wilson.
Oh yeah, I did an interview with Cody once.
No way!
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
on Tone Base's show, but we had the Bitcoin Law Review.
Wow,
yeah.
Man, you have to send that to me.
Yeah.
I started following his project in like 2012 and following his Twitter and everything, and I saw that like eventually he had to like convert, when all the ways he was trying to raise money for his project using like fiat failed and they all banned him. Yeah. It was like, well, we have to use Bitcoin now, and it's like that should have triggered something in my mind. Hey, this is like this alternative, but it just like didn't quite click. And again, going back to my like programming class I was taking, people in my classes were like mining Bitcoin. They were like setting up their own home mining rigs and stuff, and all that just like I was still like, no, Peter Schiff's gonna be right. It's like I need to invest in gold, and I know gold's done all right. Gold's done all right.
Yeah, if you had held it from then till now.
Yeah, but buying Bitcoin at $20 was a huge missed opportunity, and I eventually did buy it later. I think my first, I bought some equipment from Cody legally through the proper channels. But like you had to, I think like they could only accept Bitcoin at the time or something. So like that might have been my first Bitcoin purchase, but I just like bought it and then moved it like immediately. So I set up a Coinbase account like pretty early to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not like super early, but I ended up not holding on to it. Unfortunately. Did it crank? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure my car battery's still doing good. I think I'm gonna have to get changed. Just noticed that today. It's like not looking too good. Anyway, but I got I missed all those signals, but I think around 2020, 2021, I had some friend, like a friend of mine who had lost some Bitcoin and was thinking that, did you just, you may have just accepted the call and killed the recording on your phone, or backup recording.
Why is this person calling so many times in a row?
Okay.
We'll edit this.
Okay. You want to just take it real quick?
No, it's like a scammer.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I guess to get back into, I I guess made that purchase, but it still like wasn't really. Maybe I like bought and sold it on Coinbase at like a low price, but like exited and just like couldn't handle like I just like freaked out the volatility and I was just like sell for a loss at $2,000.
Oh, no.
You know, something like that probably.
In that bear market, that was a tough bear market after it had gone up to 20K and it went down to like 3,800 or something.
Yeah. Or if I sold for a profit, maybe a small profit or something like that. I was keeping on Coinbase anyway. I still didn't like really understand how to set up your own wallets and stuff. I hadn't like looked into it deeply at that point. It wasn't until my friend told me that he had lost a substantial amount of Bitcoin that I was like, okay, I need to like help you find this. And that's when I started learning. I think that was like 2020, 2021, like not early enough to make like a significant profit basically. I mean, make some, but like not really anything that significant. But it did teach me a lot because I was like, okay, I need to like understand what seed phrases are, like how could he have stored this? And anyway, we never ended up recovering it, but in that process, I learned a lot about Bitcoin and like how to use it. And I eventually was like, I want to set up a website to accept it. And I was trying to look into what was reliable. And I think at the time, the fees had gone up to be like pretty significant. And
that was from your buddy Roger Ver spamming the network.
I'm not sure. I haven't met Roger, but that wasn't until later. Let's see. I guess by like 2021 or 2022, I was like, I want to accept something. I want to have something with like a good, like fast customer experience, and to run that in like a self-sovereign way where I didn't have to trust anybody. Just like for me, the Lightning Network didn't make sense. I was like, I can't really set up my own Lightning node and feel like I'm not going to screw this up with a decent amount of liquidity and then find someone to open up a channel with. It was like, and I mean, I've even heard Lightning developers tell me, like, the Lightning Network is for friends, but Bitcoin, the base layer is for enemies. And it's like, okay, well, like, so they're basically saying you have to like trust a little bit on the Lightning Network. And so I was like, that's not like really going to work for me. So I ended up going with like a Bitcoin Cash solution. Or I started looking at Bitcoin Cash and I felt like it was working for the use case that I wanted to like work on. And as I explored that, I like, learned about like some OGs from Bitcoin who had moved into Bitcoin Cash. And I mean, it hadn't worked out like so well for them price wise, but I was kind of like, hey, from like the tech side, coming from like software development, I was like, the tech seems pretty strong and it seems like a really good user experience. So I went that route, ended up going to a Bitcoin Cash conference in like late 2022 and met Roger Ver and some other people who had kind of been around for a while and were also strong developers. I think I was really more interested in like the technology side of it. I think around that time or maybe a little bit before, I'd gone to Austin for a conference that Thaddeus Russell was hosting.
Oh wow!
And I was not interested in his podcast. Like I got to meet him and it was cool, but like I didn't really know anything about him. The only reason I went is because I saw an ad that had Cody Wilson speaking there, and that was where I got to meet Cody for the first time and spent a good bit of time talking to him and like later visited his shop in Austin and thought that they were working on some pretty cool stuff. I like tried to get involved in some of their projects, but honestly it was like just like a little bit outside of my wheelhouse and maybe I just like wasn't like motivated at the time to like put in the work, to be honest. And maybe I don't know, maybe I just had too much going on. But they worked on some really cool stuff. And anyway, he's like he's always just been like an interesting person to listen to. His interviews are always very interesting, and he has like a really interesting background, and like he's very, very well read. But he also like was and even though he's like an English major, he became very successful in like engineering and but also like he was in law school when the whole thing with his 3D printed gun, like the government suing him and all this stuff, when that all like blew up. He had to like quit law school, but he had like I think most of it done or something. So he still had that like strong foundation and how to like sue the government, I guess. Yeah. But they're also I guess he's also good at like networking, so he connected with other people to get that done. I mean, you've talked to him more, it sounds like, about the legal side, so.
I can't even really remember the nature of our conversation anymore. It was before he got the the problem with the underage. Yeah.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I thought I don't want to get into it too much, but
right.
I was on his side. I felt like if they're on an app and they've provided ID, it's the app's responsibility, not the person's, to check that ID. But I don't know.
It sounded like he did due diligence, although
it sounded like she was like maybe a setup or something.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like from. Yeah, it sounds like maybe it wasn't, to be honest.
Oh, really? Okay. I haven't followed it.
But it was just if people are kind of watching you and you like make mistakes, then they like might come after you, you know?
Yeah.
And if you're doing the kind of stuff that he's doing, you just got to be careful about the kind of things that you're doing. But hey, we all make mistakes, so it's like, hey, if we're being watched, people are probably going to slip up eventually.
Yeah.
So it's just like, hey. It's unfortunate that it was like exposed in such like a public way, you know.
Yeah, and his family seemed like, I don't know, they just all seemed like good people.
Yeah, right. It's like, I feel like we kind of come from similar family backgrounds, me and him. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if like something about me was like exposed so publicly, like I could see that being like kind of hard on like my parents or something.
Yeah, when they go to church or something.
Yeah, like, right. Right. It's like basically the exact same as what he describes. It sounds like. I mean, although I think they're in like a smaller town, so it's probably like even worse.
Yeah.
But I definitely see that being hard. But you probably also like stop. This idea that like, oh, I can like put on this like fake thing for everybody. It's like, hey, well, everybody knows my secrets. I am who I am. It's like that can be kind of liberating. So.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we're probably like way off the questions, but I've probably taken more of your time by allowing us to get so off track. But I just like talking. So.
Oh no, it's been very interesting. Yeah, a lot of the questions. Well, I was gonna ask you on the Bitcoin side, but yeah, around the running, I guess back to that. What does running give you that normal life doesn't? Like, what is it about running?
I mean, like, it's really hard to say that it's something more than just like I was saying before, like a guy that's just like getting obsessed with golf and trying to lower his handicap. I feel like it's kind of the same thing. Although it does at least allow you to go and explore places in a way that golf doesn't. Like, you can actually go and like I was saying, when we went out to this island called Holbox, and I'd gone with like that same German group that I told you I went to the Isla Mujeres. Again, Isla Mujeres is like right around Cancun. It should be like a day trip out there. But Holbox, it's like you gotta take a bus like 2.5 hours out there. The bus system's really good. Like, you get on a bus in Cancun, you go, it's like super nice, like laid back, reclined seats, like cushy, all this stuff. It's like $15 to go 2 hours or something like that. Yeah, it's like super. Maybe it's 30. But so then you get to the end of the bus line, and then you have to take like a ferry out to the island, Holbox or peninsula or whatever it is, but like it's like across the water. And I got out there, and I was with like 8 Germans, and so we stayed in a hostel out there, and I was able to just like run the whole island and explore everything before everybody else did, because like I just ran every morning, and that's just like part of what I do. And I've explored other places in the same way. I mean, not every place. I've heard of some people doing this like at the Grand Canyon. It's like they like run down and like back up. That's like a little bit intense for me. That's like 16 miles.
Yeah. That's been a goal of mine all my life. I did a project on the Grand Canyon in like grade 1, and I've just always wanted to go explore or do the whitewater rafting through it, but I've gone to Vegas so many times for Bitcoin conferences now, and I've still never gone to the Grand Canyon.
Well, I hiked down and back up with a buddy of mine. We hiked down and back up in one day because some friends of ours had done it, and 2 of them were girls, and we're like, we're not going to let them like outdo us. We're not going to like go halfway down. We're going to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was really like, I mean, of all the races I've run and stuff, I really felt like walking down and back up with like my back thing. I probably overpacked by the time, but it was like, that was one of the hardest things I've ever done, because it's just like it was like just your energy was just slowly seeping out this like long walk back up the canyon, when you're like getting the most tired. And that was like extremely tough. But I almost wonder if it would have been easier just to try to run the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, and just run with nothing. but like, stop at the water stop or whatever, run with a water bottle or, something to be able to get you through that.
And because it'd be over faster, you'd be less like heat.
Yeah. But like, there's some cool towns with like other cool trails. I've like had an opportunity to go run and explore it that way. It's like, 5 or 6 miles is like not a big deal. I think I did it like the Bahamas one time. I've done it some small, when the Bitcoin Cash Conference was in St. Kitts and Nevis, where Roger Ver lives, and I like explored a decent amount of island by running that way. I've explored like some cool areas. So like, it definitely does give you something. And it is a sport that everybody, like, as far as like adult sports goes, like, running 5Ks has got to be like something that pulls more people in than anything else. Now, a lot of people are like kind of walking, and so it's not like always competitive, like everybody's working super hard. But, there are like a lot of run groups now. And I mean, like, there's one that's near us. It's in Neptune Beach called the Neptune Run Crew. And I mean, every Friday morning at 6:45, they've got like at least 200 people out there to run like a 5K. Nice. It's actually 6K, but it's about 5K.
Yeah. That's what I thought with doing this race. I was like, well, everyone can run. Kids can do it. Old people can do it. 400 meters, not very far, I just thought, it'll be something that everyone can do. Like,
that's good.
But I gotta get the word out better somehow.
I hate I didn't promote this race to you guys that I did recently, because my friend Paul runs a group in Jacksonville called PRS, and it's it is like more serious running. Like that group, he like organizes track workouts every Wednesday morning up at Jacksonville University, and it's like 5:30 a.m. It's like pretty early. But he organized this 1 mile race that's over at Fishweir Brewery and does it once a year. And I think it's like the best race in Jacksonville. And we have like Gate River Run that has 15,000 runners run it every year. It's like a 15K.
Yeah, that one I've done it. I did it once, but the line up there was like, I've never been in such a big race.
Yeah, it might take you 5 minutes to get to the line after the goes off, depending on where you get to start. But I really think his race is better because it's in the evening. And so everybody can you don't have to get up super early. You can get out there and you just run 1 mile and then you hang out at the brewery afterwards. Everybody has to, have a beer, have some pizza, hang around. It's just it's like a really cool environment. And there's also like multiple mile races. So they have like an everyone division, and then they also have like a championship division where people get like really serious. And so like people who run just like the general division can watch the like elite division and cheer them on. And when you're running the elite division, it feels like everybody's just like running by. It feels like everybody's just screaming their head off. Like, oh man, this is super fun. It's
that's awesome.
Kind of takes me back to like racing in high school where I felt like it was like that. Still kind of miss those days.
Yeah. And a mile is like a fun distance.
Yeah, it's like it's something everybody can like get around. It's gonna be over in short amount. It's not gonna take anybody an hour to do a mile.
No.
It's like and it's 2 laps around the brewery. So it's just like it's like a short, really really cool race.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, I'll have to let you know for next year, or the next time he organizes something like that.
Yeah. And would you say like your identity, does it come more from being a runner or from being a Bitcoiner? Because I know Bitcoin for me anyway, it really did take over my identity like when I got into it in 2014. And then I kind of, during the rest of law school, after I couldn't finish working at that place, I stepped back from it a bit, but then I started going to the meetups here in Jacksonville. Eric puts on, or they were bigger then than they are now, but which is funny because, 2017 wasn't, but when the price started spiking, we had like 100 people out at that meetup. But I feel like it took on a big part of my identity as, I'm a Bitcoiner.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to take any of my identity from those things. Although, as you, like, anything you spend a lot of time on and, like, spend a lot of time talking about, like, might come to, like, you have a lot of people associating you with that in some way. And then, like, maybe you're on social media talking about it a lot. And so, like, it sort of becomes, like, like who you are in that environment or something. And then like, maybe you like attach that to who you really are or something. I mean like, and so, people will see me talking about Bitcoin and then like, or this like agitator, Bitcoin casher, something like that. And, I become like that guy to them, and like in running, someone sees me running a lot of miles and like, they start to attach that to me. I don't think it's who I am. It's something I enjoy a lot. I mean, I feel like I've spent a lot more time running than I have in Bitcoin, and just like stretching and doing all this like preparation and just like dialing in my diet around it and stuff. Again, I don't know. You can spend a lot of time on something. It's not like who you are. I don't want to be like too attached to that. Yeah. My identity is not wrapped up in that, really. But if some people ascribe that to me because they don't understand me, then that's fine. Yeah. How about you?
I don't know. I feel like I do take a lot of my identity from sports and Bitcoin. Just, I don't know, going to all the conferences and all the whole belief around Bitcoin, like the libertarian mindset. I didn't have any of that in Canada. Like I just wasn't exposed to it, or I wasn't thinking about things like that. The scarcity, I started being very wary of the money printing in 2008. So I was working as a mutual fund wholesaler. So I saw the stock market crash, and then the response being the printing, and I knew that something bad was, I was studying for the CFA at the time. So I was always into like I did an undergrad and an MBA where I just took quite a bit of economics classes, and those, for my electives, or there were certain required ones. But so, I had the investing side mindset, and then my dad was a gold bug. So, I knew about gold, and oil is big in Canada. They have the oil sands up there. So I knew a little bit about money side of things. So Bitcoin just kind of clicked for me from that, but not from the freedom side. Like, it never occurred to me that I might have a reason that I wouldn't have a bank account and I would have a need for Bitcoin. It's still probably, fingers crossed, I never will really need Bitcoin. So for me, it's more of an investment tool than a freedom tool. But 2021, the whole COVID thing, I did notice there. It was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, medical freedom might be associated, if we end up on this weird world where if you don't get a vaccine, you might not be able to board a plane or do other things. Then it was like, okay, this is the Bitcoin use case might play out here if a dark market has to spring up. Luckily, it was like we came real close to that, and then it's lifted right now. But hopefully, it doesn't go back to that way. Maybe it will, but so I liked the ideas of all this libertarian side of things with Bitcoin. It was just really fascinating to me, and I did take on like going to these conferences, and then I became friends with all these Bitcoiners, and so I would say I did take on the identity of a Bitcoiner, but I'm proud to be one.
Right. Hey, that's cool. It's definitely a cool thing to be a part of. I just like, I don't want to like take my identity from things that are like too fleeting. I mean, it's almost like it's a superior form of money, but like I wouldn't want to take my identity from money. And so like, I don't know, I kind of discourage that a little bit, but like my identity really is like, I would say I try to like aspire to having my identity in my faith. Like, I'm Christian, and so like, I'd say like most Christians understand that like our identity is supposed to be in Jesus, and who we've been brought into God's family through the blood of Jesus, and this is who we're kind of like that's where we're supposed to find our identity. Supposed to. I know like probably we take it from other things at times, and like no one has like perfectly axed that out, but I think that's like, hey, this is like, at least like try to move this direction. It's kind of like, I would say what people are aiming for, at least. And that makes a lot of sense, because like, hey, if you like get your identity from running, it's like, hey, what happens if like you get paralyzed or like you break your legs or something? Like, you're still going to be able to find your identity in that, or
that's true. But I feel like the athletic identity, I'm not super religious, but I'm very spiritual. I went to Catholic school. You know,
Okay.
I do.
I'm Protestant, by the way. Enemies.
I have a lot of respect for
Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That broke off.
Yeah. But no, I can see, like, I think the religious identity is probably the highest form, you know, just striving to be a good person. But the athletic identity, I feel like that gives you some, maybe it's just me, I'm sure you take some from it. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
words
like,
in, but it's like, if you got paralyzed, you still know that you did that. Like, no one can ever take that away from you,
like,
the
hey.
feeling of pride in, like, I spent my life, you know, performing and training, and, you know, I didn't just sit on and watch TV with you know, doom scroll all my time. I tried to learn, I tried to uplift others that I was training with and build relationships with others. I just find that in sports you can make such better friends. It's like like going through war with someone or something. You know, you go through this level of shared you know, exertion, and then you feel like you know that person better, and the memory
100%.
Your memory works a lot better outside. That's what I've heard. So it's like when you look back over the course of your life, if you spent a lot of time outside running or rowing or doing anything, you know, athletic, your brain is already in an enhanced state because your heart rate's up, and then because there's so much scenery compared to an indoor state, your brain will just form memories better. So I always think like, oh well, I'm making more of my life by doing this workout. Or
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, I think that's a great point. It's like, it's like you could be inside like scrolling, or, you know, just like doing nothing, watching, you know, before scrolling there was like watching TV, or, you know, like just like wasting time. And it's like, hey, at least like you're trying to achieve something. Although I will say, athletic talent is very fleeting, and it does go away. Like, and you understand that in running, because like you train really hard to get up to like a peak, and then like you get on the other side of that, and you're like, okay, like say you run a marathon, you're like, okay, now I'm like going to take some time off. Your fitness starts to go down pretty
like
fast.
the next day.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, the day recovering after a marathon, but even if you're just like racing a mile or you're racing a 5K and the recovery isn't that long, as soon as you take like 2 weeks off, or you like, you know, get an injury maybe that like sets you back, you know, and you have to like, take a few weeks off, it's like you could be like at a really low point. Like, although I guess like for me, maybe that's not that big of a difference. Like in my mind it is, because it's like it takes so long to shave off like, you know, 15 or 30 seconds. Once you get like past a certain point, you just like, you can't quite get it anymore. You're like really reaching what you feel like is your limit within like the constraints of what you understand about training. Maybe there's someone else who could train you, but, you know, like within what you understand, you kind of understand that you're sort of starting to reach your limit. And then like you get to the other side of that 15 seconds you tried to gain, and then like you lose 3 minutes in like, you know, the downtime. If you raced again, it's like you're way slower, or 3 minutes in like 5K, which isn't that big really. But it is kind of like, man, like I sure worked hard for those 15 seconds to lose 3 minutes a few weeks later, you know?
My 5K times. When I was training, like I did a bit of triathlons like between maybe 2016 and 2020, and I was trying to get my 5K under 25 minutes. I did it on a couple triathlons. There were like 2 that I was under. But yeah, then I went to do one again like a few years later without training, and my 5K was 33 minutes. I was just like, how did I get that much slower? Oh, I knew I hadn't trained. But yeah, it's wide.
What was the 5K the first time you said?
Well, at my peak in the triathlon season, it was 20. I got like 24:45 or something like that.
That's
at the end of the thing, I felt like that.
So 8 minute mile pace. It's like,
and I've never done that on a 5K. Only at the end of a triathlon. Like I've just never been in that. I didn't run a lot of 5Ks that summer when I did it at the end of anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally. It's like
goes. And I talked to a guy at this mile race. He was like a good bit older than me. You know, he's like in his 50s. He might have been 58. Maybe he was like 60 or something. I can't remember. Anyway, but he was only like 20 or 30 seconds behind me, and I was kind of like, okay, so basically I can only lose like 1 second per year.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna like be running with this guy just ran at this age, you know, it's like most people aren't gonna do that. I mean, honestly, like I think not winning a lot of like big individual championships when I was in high school like kept me. Like I was saying, like I like didn't quite realize my goals. Like I got like a little worse in college, and so it like kept me motivated to keep trying to train. Whereas other people were like, I've accomplished all my goals. I'm just gonna like relax now. And now like I'm running significantly faster than they can, and like, you know, if I keep running, it's like that gap probably is only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to have like something to keep you in it. But it's probably healthier if it's not to like satisfy all ambitions. But I guess that was the only thing that was going to keep me in it. So maybe that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And is like visualization. I know for me when I was a swimmer in like from age like 9 till 15, and they used to have us like lay down in this dark room before our races. My coach would say, ready, go, and you'd race your event and put your hand up when you thought you finished. And oh my gosh, it was like incredible how accurate mine, but everyone there would be like within, a few seconds of their event. Wow. And we just did that practice over and over for years, and I realized there's something to it. Like, wow, so I don't know how to apply that visualization to like success in the career, but I still do it for rowing. Like they say, I've heard things that say, your muscles still even sometimes fire if you're really good at visualization. So when I can't train a lot, I'll just like picture myself training and hope that it's doing something. I don't know if it really does, but do you has visualization played a part in your running races?
I mean, like I did that, like I only did one real session like that. It was in high school, and I don't think it was like it wasn't exactly the same. They did like, it was like we were in like somewhat dark room. I mean, there was like still windows and stuff, but it was like, they like turned down the lights, and then they were like, okay, imagine like, you're in the race, and just like imagine, like the pain setting in, but you're like dealing with it, like you're like dealing with the discomfort of being in a race. I think that was the main thing. It was not so much like, that like you raise your hand when you thought you finished. Like it wasn't really the whole race, but it was more like just kind of dealing with the pain. Yeah. But I can only remember that one time. But other times, I definitely do a lot of like race planning. In like the 400 meter dash, like not so much. That's like.
But you're not visualizing the sunset circuit.
Yeah.
I try and get Cam to visualize it just for fun. Like I don't know, just sometimes at night trying to get him to fall asleep. I just looking for things. But I feel like it's a good little
David, stealing that, like, winning. Yeah.
No, but he does have your picture in his room, like one of the, with everyone. But your common name for him, would David be able to do that, or he just? He
can do it.
I think it's an inspiration for him.
He might end up like my coach's son that she brought every day to practice, and then he grew up and became a signed runner with Nike. So he's one of the top. It can happen. Just like depends on your interest, And when people were saying that about him, I was like, well, I'd hate to put that on him, and he like doesn't like running. Everybody like forces him to run and just hates it. But it seems like he likes it a lot. He's doing it for a career.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, man, that's awesome, man, to hear that. I'm like a part of inspiring future generations to live a healthy, active lifestyle.
Yeah. And so Trisha told me that she's in that active group. I need to join it, I think.
Please join. We'd love to have you.
Okay, yeah, I'll join after this. I don't know why I hadn't joined already. I thought it was like an invite only thing. And then she's like, no, he has the link like right on his Instagram. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, I should join it.
Yeah.
But that you guys are doing stuff all the time.
Yeah, right. We we have a group that mainly does pickleball, volleyball, and we also do dancing. Trisha's come to a lot of the dancing.
Nice.
We go to that new country bar, Kickers, a lot. And we also go to these Monday night lessons that are at K1 Speed on Phillips Highway.
Oh,
so
cool.
like kind of, anyway, out there on Phillips Highway. And the lesson there starts at 6:30 with a line dance lesson from 6:30 to 7. And then 7 to 8 is like partner swing dance lesson. But they rotate partners, so you don't have to bring one, but you can if you want to. I feel like they still want you to rotate partners even if you bring one. But people do stand off to the side and dance in partners sometimes. But I feel like they want you to like get in.
You guys are doing swing dancing, or is it like?
I haven't done the partner lesson in a while because it's free if you go after, or if you don't want to participate in the lesson, it's free.
Oh, cool.
And that's one on Monday. So it's like sometimes you're kind of encouraged, like, I'll just come after the lesson and like do the social dance from 8 to close, which is like 9:45 or 10. Mm-hmm. And but I do really like that that lesson because, well, with the partner dance, it becomes like a great icebreaker. You get comfortable, like, dancing with other people, and then, like, you know, you might see them later. It's like, hey, you want to dance? Like, you know, like, let's practice that move we learned, you know, like, you know, they taught something new.
Yeah.
So that one is the paid one on Mondays that they do. And then, and this is like where I spend another group. Like, I bring my group to it because, like, I think a lot of people enjoy it. And some people end up leaving our group and only go into the dance events, and they love it. And I'm glad to connect them with something that they really like. But we still, like, keep going, and I think it's a good way for us to, like, you know, kind of do something different that's a little bit different from, you know, like, being in your, like, normal sports, you know, gear and stuff, and you kind of go to something that's more like a dance, but it's also you're learning something and you're building a skill, and I think that's kind of a cool thing. But the Thursday night ones that are at the bar Kickers, Kickers is like they start with line dance lessons that are like every at the top of every hour. So they do them at 7, 8, and 9, and that one's all free. Like, entry's free, the lessons are free, and from like, so the first 15 minutes of every hour will be a line dance lesson, 7, 8, and 9. And then in between that, you might have some line dancing. It's mostly line dancing, but you'll have, like, some partner dances too. So, like, it's the same thing at K1. It's like a mix of songs that they play during the social dancing portion is like either partner dancing or line dances. And so I think it's definitely, I really, like, I learned to dance. I'm from Alabama. I never knew how to, like, country dance or swing dance or anything. I took a small, a few lessons in college with this swing dancing group that offered some free meetup lesson type things. So I had, like, a little bit of swing dance lessons, but I think it was mostly, like, West Coast swing.
I have one night of swing dance lessons in my history. At that rowing competition in Taiwan, we had a typhoon come, and it was after the races, but we couldn't leave the hotel. And all these people, I think it was the Dutch team and a lot of the Americans, were doing the swing dancing, and I did it for like 4 or 5 hours that night, just
cool.
in the lobby. It was so much fun getting, like, the
Do, like, flips and stuff. They asked people not to leave the dance floor this one, but or not to, like, flip people. You know?
I always wanted to try it again, but it just never.
Yeah, well, when I was in college, like, I mean, I never thought I was really that good. I don't feel like I have that great of rhythm, but they did teach us to do a flip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I felt like I was pretty comfortable doing it. I was able to make it work. Nice. We don't really do flips in this one. You don't do anything, like, too acrobatic. Unless you're, like, really good, you know what you're doing. You might see some people doing it. They're not going to, like, make a beginner, you know.
Get out there and be like, okay, try
like, most people that are dancing with you are going to get a good sense of what you're at, especially if you're a lady. So that means, like, you're following in the dance. So, like, the leader of the dance is going to, like, not push you outside your range. There might be, like, some awkward things that are missed or something. But, like, for the most part, I think people are going to understand what level you're at, and they're going to help you have a good time. So you feel like you can dance, even though it might be your first time you're just learning, you know? Like, they can pick the right move so it feels like, oh, wow, I feel like I'm really, like, having fun here. It's like they're going to hopefully do that. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's a lot of things we do. We do a broad range of things: pickleball, volleyball, dance, and we also do, like, some of the running events. I've told people about your race, and we're gonna try to do a trip to Jenny Springs this weekend also.
Oh, really? I've been trying to go there for ages. I'm gonna be in Canada this weekend. Oh man. Yeah. Next time. I went a few times a few years ago, but since having kids, I haven't been back. But I think Cameron could do it now. Like, you know, he's fine, and I've been trying to get people to go, and no one ever can. But so
it's about 2 hours outside of Jacksonville. If you're not familiar with Jenny Springs, and
it's beautiful.
It's like, I mean, these are from talking to people, like, I have a friend who does, like, a lot of diving, like, off the coast of Jacksonville, and he's gone and explored some of the ships that they've sunk out there and stuff. And he's told me, he's like, Jenny Springs really is world class in terms of, like, freshwater diving. And, like, some of the caves they have and stuff. Like, I mean, you get down there far enough, it really is dangerous. People, like, have died down there. But, like, if you're just, like, a person who likes snorkeling on top of the water, like, you're not in an unsafe situation. Like, it's only if you're trying to dive down and, like, go in the caves, and really deep in the caves. Like,
that would
it's like,
that would be really scary.
Like, just to, like, I'm not an experienced free diver or diver of any kind, but, like, I can at least, like, hold my breath and, like, sink down to where the cave opens and, like, kind of, like, peek in or whatever and see what it looks like, and then, like, okay, I'm like out of air, I gotta go back up. And so like I don't last too long, but at least like I can enjoy that. And it's cool to like see people diving up and down and like, you know, trying to like go in things and like coming back out and going up. So it is a really special place if you're in the Jacksonville area.
Oh, you guys will have so much fun doing that.
Yeah, so like there was like a similar kind of thing down in Mexico. Like I mentioned them, they were like, oh, we go to the springs. They call them cenotes.
Okay.
And they say they were formed by like asteroids or something, like little meteors that fell and like caused these holes. I don't know, they're like the same one that killed the dinosaurs, or I don't know, something like that. I hear a lot of different things. I'm not sure what created them, but some of them are like super deep holes, and like you can see like the rocks that like are going down under the water, and then like you just don't see anything. It's just like dark.
Yeah.
And like there was one that they showed us. They're like, this one, like you can see the rocks here, they're going down, and then you see nothing. It goes down to like 150 meters.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like that's a long way. So
the ocean is or even ocean.
They're like a little bit inland. There may be some that are out in the ocean actually. I thought there was like that one that's like, you've heard them talking about like the blue hole or something. Like anyway, there's like this little like spot in the water. There's probably like a few of these in the world, so I may be like kind of mixing them up. I think there's one that's like in like the Mediterranean or something.
I've gone to one in Cuba, and it was really cool. You know. Yeah. You'd swim through the cave, and then you'd come out to like a whole area, like a little beach area. Yeah. But you had to like swim under it. Not everyone was brave enough to get there.
Yeah. Like at Jenny Springs, you could like kind of swim into the cave and then like swim around like this rock that's sort of like blocking the middle part of the entrance. So you like swim around the rock and go like back out the other side. So you're basically just swimming like around the side of a boulder and then going back out if you swim into it. Some people go, I mean, if you're a diver, you can go down there a long ways, like with scuba gear. Mm-hmm.
Well, what advice would you have for future runners and Bitcoiners?
With running, I would say don't start too aggressively so that you can be consistent over the long term, because I feel like a lot of people like... That's what I even do. Every time I try and get back to it lately, it's like I hurt myself. So yeah, like I actually watched a good video on this today. It was talking about like zone 2, and it was this like Olympic runner saying like, hey, I think zone 2 is kind of overrated, that people push it too hard. And I am a big zone 2 like proponent, but I'm also coming at it from the point from the perspective of a person who wants to maintain fitness over like multi-year time frame. And I'm like, okay, I want to like build up this like strong aerobic base so that I can like also on top of that like do workouts every now and then to like get in shape for other races. And I'm gonna always be doing this like 6 days a week, or you know, like in the course of a year, most of the time I'm gonna be running like averaging at least like 4 or 5 days a week, and you know, if not 6 or 7 sometimes. And it's like a lot of people aren't coming from that kind of mindset. You know, they're like, hey, I just want to get in shape for this 5K that's in like 3 months or something. It's like in that case, like I would still suggest like some zone 2. Like you can't just be going all out. You can't be going all out all the time. Like some people can, but like it's not going to promote consistency over the long term. So I think like people probably would benefit from taking it a little bit easier, but working on consistency. Like, hey, it's better to like jog easy, you know, 4 or 5 days a week than do like one really hard run and then like be done, or do like 3 hard runs, or 4, you know, do it for 1 week. You did 4 really hard runs in 1 week, but now like the next week, maybe you don't run, or you run twice or something, you know. It's like, yeah, that's actually going to be worse. And it can take a long time to recover if you get like super burnout. I would say the biggest lesson where I learned that was when I was training in 2022. I was on a cross-country van trip, and I was like trying to better my mile time. And I reached this point where I'd kind of like plateaued, and I was like, I don't feel like this is like where my limit is. I feel like I'm not quite to where I should be, but I just like cannot break this wall. I'm not getting any better. And then I like went and ran with a friend of mine who he has a contract with Nike, and his brother's running the Olympics, and they're both from Kenya, and they train in Colorado now. I went on a run with him, and I realized like his normal run, he does workouts that are very intense, but like, and I knew this already, but like actually running with him put in perspective for me. Like his normal everyday run, his easy run, was like 8:30 per mile, which was slower than I was doing mine. Like, because I had friends that were trying to do theirs like in the 7s, and I was like, oh, I should do what my friends are doing and run the 7s. But like when I saw that this guy was doing 8:30 and his 5K race pace is like 4:10, I was like, okay, that's more than double his 5K pace. Yeah. So like maybe I need to be running slower on my easy runs. And as soon as I fixed that, I like immediately made an improvement within 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. So nice. Sometimes you gotta like not push so hard in order to like, or if you're pushing too hard too much, you're not gonna be able to have those like really intense sessions and be able to perform at that level in the intense sessions. You've got to like have these like lower, easier sessions and not be pushing all the time. Most people are not even going to be able to grind it out anyway through that many intense sessions, but the few that will are kind of costing themselves. So that's what I would say for getting better at running. For getting better at Bitcoin, I don't know, I had that, like, projects really motivate me. So like trying to recover my friend's Bitcoin, even though it didn't work out, was motivating. But I ended up reading Understanding Bitcoin by Antonopoulos, right? Yeah. And I didn't finish the whole book, but it did lead me into like, installing the CLI and running like Bitcoin Core on my machine. And so like, setting up addresses and like sending Bitcoin back and forth and trying to understand what, like the mempool fees were and, all that stuff, or transaction fees. And so that really taught me a lot. Trying to set up a website to accept it and like do things in real time, Mm-hmm. So like there could be like a good customer experience. I think all of that helped me a lot. People learn different ways, but I would recommend that book and to actually learn things. I was also lucky to reach out to people who were making YouTube content on Bitcoin, and they pointed me towards some resources that were helpful as well. So
nice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and having this conversation. It was awesome talking to you, and looking forward to our next race.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks, David.
Welcome to Sunset Circuit. Jacksonville Beach, where athletes of all ages come to test their speed, their strength, and their will. Who is the fastest runner in Bitcoin? 400 meters on the sand, 2 minutes, push-ups, 1 plank challenge. Last athlete standing claims the glory, 3 minutes rest. Then it's back to battle. Cash prizes, cold card wallets, local swag, bragging rights forever. And before the race begins, visualize at the podium the medal, the victory, the crowd cheering your name. See yourself standing on top, because champions win the race twice, first in their minds, then on the beach. Featuring a live national anthem performance by Maggie and competitors ranging from kids to seasoned athletes. The question is simple: will your name be on the leaderboard? Welcome to Sunset Circuit.